So the plan for today is to do a little more work on the monster chopper. This really is very close to being done with the forging portion of its existence. I want to get a little more length on the handle because I don't know if Ralph's hands are larger than mine. They probably are. So he's going to need a little bit more to grab hold of there. Right now it's a really good length for me. It's very comfortable. So just add a little bit more to that. Give a little bit more of a flare there maybe to help with the grip. And then of course putting the wood scales on the handle, I'm going to shape them so they're nice and grippy too. So you can see I put a little bit of work into cleaning up this transition right here. It was pretty rough and I couldn't get a hammer in there to really smooth it down. So I just used an angle grinder and made a nice comfy finger welt there. I may go ahead and leave this contour. I don't know, see what happens when I forge it out. But as you can see, the thickness is definitely variable right through here. It's a little thicker here where I've hammered down trying to get the handle in shape. So I got to fix that. I want to get everything as perfect as it can be before I put it on the belt grinder, because that is a very time-consuming process and it's not nearly as fun as forging it on the anvil. So I'm going to go ahead and get the forge lit and see where today goes. That's cooling off very fast. But it's also doing exactly what I want it to, so that's nice. Alright, let's get the other side. I'm doing some pretty light little hammer strikes. And that's just because I've got to be real careful that I don't put a deep divot in the steel that I can't grind out later. I don't want this thing to get too thin because it's going to be in for some heavy use and I want to make sure it lasts forever. So yeah, a little bit of well, I can't really say precision because I'm swinging a hammer, but a little bit of care is called for. Right now I'm just smoothing out some of those hammer blows just to see what I've got. Before moving further down the handle. Cold enough that it's really leaching the heat out of the steel fast. That'll change over the next few minutes. So I've noticed notice the steel is not as thin up in this area, so I'm going to work it out a little more. Use a little more power there since I am trying to thin it. Kind of eyeball my progress. Getting some length out of this. Fun is going to be when I try to get a decent corner out of this. I don't want that radius, but that's something I'll deal with in a little bit. Right now we're just trying to draw it out. So this is a milestone. It's the first time it's going in blade first. About addressing this back corner of the blade here. Maybe make it more corner-like. Keeping it flat. That's a little better. That's going to need more work. One of my challenges here is that I've already got a really nice profile up here that I like. So to keep from ruining the angle of the handle, work this part on the flat. That's getting close to something I can work with. I think one more time should do it. My anvil is now too hot to touch. That is something that I can shape into a good sharp corner. It's important to take a rest break from time to time when you're forging steel. Now I'm going to use a fairly heavy hammer for this, so I'm not really trying to shape anything, I'm just trying to get it to lay down. Bending other parts while I'm doing that. Here's the easy way to straighten the handle. And there we go. Well, how do you like that? One screen dissolved and suddenly it's the next day. So I've done a little bit of grinding on this Bonechopper. You can see that I've ground down to basically see how deep the hammer marks go in the steel. And I've done a little bit of shaping on the handle, which I'm really liking. I can't wait to get the handle scales on this and see how it feels in the hand. But as it is right now, it's a pretty good feel. And the handle, basically putting the handle on should balance it pretty well. The amount of steel I'm going to put on should move the balance point from here, well, from here, probably back to about here. And that's going to be just perfect for swinging. Yeah. So I'm going to get the forge lit. I'm going to work on the bevel on the cutting edge, see if I can work that down, kind of introduce the preliminary bevel and get this blade a little bit of a curve that it needs to really do its job well. And I'm getting ever closer to the grinding portion of this project. And then I get to test it. of the big challenges with a piece this size is just getting it heated evenly. The steel is so wide, it takes up almost my entire forge from left to right. And that centers the steel right under the gas jet, which creates a cold spot in the middle. So that's going to be a recurring challenge while I'm working on this. One thing I can do to help with that is to move it back and forth in the forge, which is very hot on my hand. God. And only marginally effective. It puts my knuckles right over the edge of the hot steel, and that can be uncomfortable. I'm going to bring the camera in a little closer in a minute, but I don't know if you can see it, but we're starting to get that curved blade. It's going to be a little more work. So in a moment of earth-shaking genius, when I was beveling the edge of the Bonechopper, I repositioned the camera, thought I turned it on, and didn't. So I probably recorded about 45 minutes of content that I didn't actually record and that isn't content anywhere because it went away. But here I am before moving on to the next step, and I just wanted to show what the final result was on shaping the Bonechopper. And as you can see, it's got a really pleasing curve to the cutting edge, a little bit of a flare down there, and it is definitely cleaver shaped. You can see I've done a little bit of surface grinding on it, but there's going to be a whole lot more. I'm going to try to get this puppy smooth, and then I'll be working in this bevel. It should be a thing of beauty, along with being a scary big cleaver. And as you can see, I've done a little bit of work with this finger welt. Really like choking up on it like that. I hope Ralph will too, because that gives you really good control. It's putting your hand real close to the center of gravity. And so yeah, and it's almost as big as my head.